Well, first, it's lovely to be here in the wind. I feel like I'm almost being blown away. It reminds me, I wrote some lyrics for a symphony orchestra, and it's called Search for Buddha. And one of the lyrics goes something like a tree on a windy autumn day. My leaves are falling and they're blown away. It's almost like the conditioning that we have are just falling away and being blown away. And the technique, 3 steps, is a technique that helps those leaves to fall away. It's an amazing technique that I've been teaching for quite some time now. And it has its roots in yoga and tantra, vipassana, Buddhism. And it's supported now with a whole body of work with neuroscience, psychology, medicine. And the basic premise of the technique is self-regulation, allowing the body to regulate. And when you know how the body can regulate, this can help you come out of any emotional state, any difficulty. So let's say that fear starts to arise within you. Fear arises within you and certain pattern within the body happens. The 3 steps helps you to then stop, witness the fear and the whole patterning of the body, and helps you to regulate so the body starts to come out of that activated fear state and it starts to settle and come back to a state of homeostasis. In this process, the discharge occurs, and what happens is that this is the route to, or the road to paving a new way, a new path in the body-mind system, and it starts to release the old pattern. So for instance, if fear came up, and in fear your heart was beating really fast and you had butterflies in your stomach and you had weak legs and you went a little fuzzy in the head, if you had to stop in that, you'd witness all of these things happening within the body. You would then support your body to regulate, and what you'll notice is that the body starts to tremble, tingle, warmth starts to leave the body, because the body's always regulating itself. That's an amazing thing. So these innate healing mechanisms with the body, if we support them and we allow them, what happens is the body comes out of the fear and it returns to a state of calmness, equilibrium. In that process, we release the old pattern. So by doing this a few times, 20 times, 50 times, 100 times, 500 times, say with fear, firstly you'd get to know your fear really deeply. You'd notice what happens in fear, but each time that you did this, you would be reorganizing and the body would be reshaping how fear comes up. And what happens is that maybe it will change that you don't get weak in the legs anymore, and you're not fuzzy in the head anymore. And this is a very different state of fear, because now you have your legs to be able to run away or to kick, fight. You think properly, so you might be able to take appropriate action. So our fear becomes more wholesome. The way fear comes up in us becomes more wholesome. And as we work with it in deeper states, we master our emotions. We don't control our emotions, but we allow mastery to occur. We get to know them really deeply, and the difficult patterns that are not good start to change. They start to shift and release so that we are more wholesome. What's very interesting then is that we have more energy. We're not so reactive in life. so we're more present, and we start to feel more joy, more love. Quite a good thing. And the interesting thing with the 3 steps is it also helps us to reorganize and help our bodies to be okay with more love, to be okay with more joy. So, and this is important. This is very important. So the 3 steps helps to, and this is, why I named my book The Alchemist's Way, and this is inner alchemy, is that as you work in this way with the difficult emotions, so you would call these the lead, like sadness, jealousy, hatred, fear, anger. As you work with it, they start to change, and they become more wholesome. And then as you work with more love, more joy, more gratitude, with the same technique, it flowers, and it comes more often. So the one it's like the same techniques helps you to weed out the difficulty and to grow and allow the beauty to flower. In alchemical terms, it would be, changing the lead and transmuting it into gold, and the gold would be more joy, more love, more gratitude, more compassion. And it's really about showing people how to do it. So you can read my book, and it's really amazing because it gives you a lot of detail, shows you how to work with it, but the experience is lacking. And in my workshops, I work with the 3 steps. I work with how the body works in these ways, and it's hugely helpful. Yeah. So this work, for instance, the 3 steps, is extremely helpful for all healers, for all yoga teachers, for people of all ilks of the helping professions. And no matter what they do, this technique really supports, and maybe even sometimes, and I know maybe this is a bold statement, but it may even change the way that they do their work to support the natural mechanisms of the body, and to, I think, would become more effective. And this is the report I get often.